It's weird no matter where you're viewing me from. I'm a little bit under the weather still, but I'm making a packer. Almost done with this one. And then I will be making another one, but I'll probably work on the kilt that I'm working on in that time too. So we'll just kind of see where the night takes us. I have an inch left on this packer. This one is 7 inches. So I'm using my trusty dusty Furl's Candy Shop crochet hook. And we're just going to keep crocheting until we get the size that we want. So I hope everyone is having or had a good day and is having a good evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching this. I was really struggling to get through today. I don't know if you're anything like me, but when you're physically not feeling well, like your mental health just kind of takes like a little bit of a nosedive. And that's kind of how I've been feeling the past couple days, where I'm a little bit more just kind of like fragile. And yeah, so I got through my group today and basically fell asleep right after that, and then took a big long nap and woke up, and now my sleep's continuing to be off cycle, but it is what it is. I desperately needed to do laundry today, and I didn't, so I'm wearing the same thing I've been wearing since yesterday, so apologies. I feel like you're getting the same video again and again. I promise it's not, but they're pretty similar, can't deny. I knew my cat as soon as I closed the door. We're not even 3 minutes in, and he already wants to go in. Knew it. Okay. He's a pain in the ass. Okay, so I'm just crocheting in the round and around until I get the proper length. I offer my packers in a variety of sizes, and this is my largest size. I guess I could technically make them longer and offer them longer if I wanted to, but I don't really, I don't feel the need, so I offer them in the sizes that I offer them in, and that's good enough for me. So, this one is a gift. Hey, Zach. Hello to you. How are you doing? How's your blanket coming? I'm excited to get this over with so that I can get back to some more fun projects. I currently have 2 patterns in testing right now. My awareness ribbon hats, that is undergoing pattern testing right now. And then the Grinch that's mooning people is in testing as well. Hi, French and Spanish. Cover all your bases, There's no problem in that. So I'm currently working on a packer in the color Americana. I named it Americana just because it's very like red, white, and blue, but kind of distressed. And I had to name it something because this is from Ice Yarns, and their names for yarn colors are just like, it's just listing out the colors that are in there. Plus, I got this one when it was on sale. And if you know about Ice Yarn sale yarns, they just put a sale sticker over the original sticker, so you don't even really know kind of what they originally marketed it as. Coming along good. I haven't worked on it since Monday. Yeah, you gotta take a break sometimes. I can't. I don't know how some people crochet all the time. I definitely could not do that. Um, but yeah. Um, and especially blankets. I feel like blankets are in big projects are just they're really really difficult. I know for me at least to just sit down and work on for hours and hours and hours every day. You know, we all have lives, even if they're as boring as mine is. Yeah, I keep on meaning to catch one of your lives so I can see a little bit more about like the color you're doing and everything. I'm really excited to start working on my kilt. That's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and finally did a lot of research into kind of kilt styling, making pleats in crochet, and then um, also just uh, like like specifically what it would need to look like a kilt, because um, kilts can be either sewn, and traditionally they're like sewn by hand and stuff, but with fast fashion and things like that, you know, they're much more mass produced. Also, there is the kind of conversation around tartan colors or plaid, or the plaid that you make the um, the the tartan, what the fabric looks like. So I had to learn how to I have to learn how to make that. I've watched a couple videos. I've actually watched a ton of videos on. This is the most research I've ever done on a project that I wanted to make, but I just saw that like there weren't really any patterns that were like I didn't really see any patterns out there, so I just kind of had to make up my own. And I'm really really excited to get it going, but it's going to be one of my bigger projects, probably among like the biggest projects I've ever done. So I kind of have to be a little cautious, I guess, with that. Okay, so let me measure this packer length now that I've reached the end of the row. We're a little under 7, so I'm gonna add maybe 1 or 2 more rows. I don't really like working on a circumference this small, but this is kind of the price to admission for making a packer, is that you kind of have to get up in there and keep your um, stitches pretty tight, especially with this particular yarn. Now it's 100% cotton. It's very very soft, and I don't know if it's the softness or if it's the gauge of the yarn, because it is kind of on the slimmer side for a 4. It might even be like a thick 3, and it just shows the polyfill a lot more. It's, you know, luckily the polyfill being white, it's not too concerning. You burned your finger at work, but not too bad. But I didn't report it, which I probably should have. Yeah, I mean, you still have time if you burned it. Well, I guess I don't really know Canadian law, so I won't advise on that. But you know, just if you're gonna report it, report it soon. Um, you don't always have to report it like day of for it to be, um, noted. I guess I'm gonna go around twice. Now, this pepper is a gift for someone, so I kind of want to make sure that this person knows that, hey, if for whatever reason this isn't the size or color or packing fullness that you want, you can still, come back and find something you like. This isn't like the only packer that I offer. But I don't think I'll say that like explicitly. I'll just do what I normally do, which is put my business card in there. Usually on the back of my business card, I write washing instructions. Um, but for this one, because it was a gift and had a personalized message, I printed off just like a little printable thank you card that I found on the internet, and then I wrote the washing instructions in that. So I imagine that it's someone who has recently come out, and this is someone showing their way of supporting uh, their friend or family member coming out, which is really cute. It's a really cute thing to do. Obviously, I don't know the full situation, so you know, I can only assume. And they know what they say about when you assume. Okay, it's exactly 7 inches right now, so I have to start the head. But before I do that, I'm going to pack it a little bit more full. Here you can see where it's full of polyfill, and here is not. This is just crocheted. That side B is a little bit more telling, isn't it? Damn it, isn't it only open polyfill in the other room? Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some polyfill. Right here, I'm gonna respectfully ask you to not do a bunch of squeaking while Daddy's live streaming. Thank you very much. Look at this giant bag of polyfill. I bought 3 of these when I was gonna make a dog bed for Riker because he's a big ass dog. But then I just didn't want to sew anymore. So yeah, so this polyfill, because I've been using Crafter's Choice, I think it's called, from Michaels, and that's a lot stiffer. Okay, remember our talk about Daddy live streaming? Okay, just a little bit, sir. Um, but Crafter's Choice is a little bit more rough, and at first I was like, oh, this is so soft, it's so great, and now I'm like, I kind of prefer the more um, rough polyfill because it's a little bit easier to get like the stiffness that you want. You have to use a lot more of this like soft polyfill. Um, I'm using polyfill sometimes as the brand name, sometimes as the what it is. Riker is back talking. Yeah. No, he just loves his squeaky. He's a squeaky little boy. So, making sure that you pack it full enough so that when they wash it, because the the polyfill, when you stuff it pretty full, so obviously it starts out pretty big like this, and when you stuff it, it gets a lot smaller, closer to about this size. And when you wash it, it's going to get even smaller. So you want to make sure that you kind of overfill so that when it's washed, it is not going to um, ball up and be kind of inconsistent and lumpy. Although I do find with this, I don't have to break it up into as small of clumps as I did with the other one. So they both have their pros and cons, just like with everything. But yeah, I'm sweating up a storm, and I have like no clean shirts. Really should have done laundry today, but you live and you learn. I've just been under the weather, so it's been hard to kind of want to do anything. Um, you know how it is. So one thing that this bag of polyfill came with that I don't know if I've seen before is a stuffing tool. It's basically a chopstick. Don't get too excited, but I thought it was pretty cool because like it is super helpful. Um, it's just like a little wooden chopstick, um, but it is very helpful in the stuffing process. But if you don't have anything to, if you don't have something like that, then use your imagination, pens. Um, the ends of some crochet hooks, things like that help. Okay, so now that I have tacked that pretty much up to the top, it's relatively even. Once it's closed and finalized, it's a little bit easier to even it out. Then we're gonna go in and do the we're gonna do the back loop only. So that's gonna start kind of creating the ridge for the head. If you want to try this pattern out, it is a very easy pattern to do. It's all single crochet, and there are invisible single crochet decreases in it, but those are pretty easy to learn how to do. Um, so it's a pretty easy pattern, and this is definitely something that you can give someone or make for yourself if you wanted one. So the pattern is free, and in the description box below, um, you need to use 100% cotton. Usually I use dish cotton, like I use like sugar and cream a lot, but I have ordered some 8/8 yarn from Hobie because they have a lot more skin tone options. So I just ordered that today. The yarn was cheap. The shipping was a bit expensive, but it's just kind of what it is when they're in Denmark. Um, the detailing usually is pretty fast. So what you need to do is first you start by doing crocheting in the back loop only or front loop only, just the inside one, depending on whether you're coming from the outside in or the inside out. I am working from the inside out, so that's how I'm doing front loop technically. But so you do that to create a ridge and to start the head. Now, most of the ones I make are cut, but every once in a while, someone will request an uncut one, and that's just a couple extra stitches, really, when you're making this version. They don't have a lot of differences, to be honest. Your foot's asleep. Well, wake it up. I hate that. I hate that like pins and needles feeling. Um, so once you do that, you're going to start doing some decreases. So you'll start by doing single crochet, and then you'll do an invisible decrease. Wake up, foot. Yep, that usually works. But they're great listeners. Feet, not foots. So you're going to do that pattern of decrease all the way around. Okay, so I'm doing one final decrease of this round. And then I'm just going to decrease until I basically want to close it up. Now, I don't usually even make it around like the full length because that's about the size of the hole. So it's decreased quite a bit from there. So just constantly trying to stuff as much as you can. Okay, that's cool. I will be here stuffing penises. This is where having like a chopstick type thing would be helpful, but I usually go into the center and then kind of lift up to create a nice shape at the end. And you all may be like, I'm never going to make a packer. I do not care about this. That's fine. Tell me what you're making. Because it can get a little boring if I just talk about what I'm making. Okay. So once you do that, then we're going to do all invisible decreases all the way around. And this will start closing up the top of the thing. And I usually just like fold it over like that to see if it'll close, and see if I only had to do 2 stitches in that row. So then what I do is I find my snippies. Snippies, where are you? I feel like I'm like Winifred from Hocus Pocus when she's like, book, except I'm like, snippies. And I keep on like just about stabbing myself in the face with these. So maybe I shouldn't gesture at my face. I am, for those curious, I'm using the Lost Mary Banana Duo Ice. I don't like disposable vapes as much as I like my regular vape, but I don't have any nicotine juice left, so I need to go to the vape shop. And I just kind of out of the way, and I don't really like going outside much at all, so. I've been feeling like very dehydrated since I've been feeling sick. So if you see me drink like 100 drinks while I'm on this live stream, that's what's going on. So you don't need to cut a long tail for this, because I usually sew in my end just with my crochet hook. I just weave it in. But if you wanted to use a needle, obviously you'd probably use something a little bit bigger. I'm going to try not to pick up any of that polyfill and pull it out because that tends to get a little messy. So I just weave it in and out a couple of times. You don't really need to cinch the top. In fact, I don't think a cinched top looks really great on these. So I just kind of aesthetically go in and out until I'm ready to call it quits. And then I go in through the bottom. So there's clearly a top because there's a ridge where we'll put the tab. So I go through the bottom and just pull through the excess yarn like that. And that might misshape your tip, and you can just kind of reform it like that. So next is the ridge. You know, even though like there are things that are like anatomically correct to say, it's like sometimes it's weird saying them on the internet. So I'm gonna put the rest of that polyfoam up and away because it is big and very space consuming. And then where I initially did that stitch in the front loop only, I'm going to go around and do a top stitch. So just pull the yarn through, go through one, out the other, yarn over, pull through, and do a single crochet. And I just go all the way around, and this creates a nice look, but it's not going to be so distinctive. It's more for like the eyes and like the actual look of it, how it will wear in the pants, because it's such a small ridge that unless you're wearing very tight pants, you won't see that level of detail. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So you can see it without the ridge and with the ridge, how different that looks. So I'm curious if you're watching this and if you have an opinion about this, I would love to know because I'm curious about what people think. Now, I know there's a lot of conversation about AI in crochet, how a lot of people are saying like, hey, I crocheted this, and then there's a picture that's obviously AI generated of a crocheted item. And obviously, I don't think claiming a computer's work as your own is okay. But what does anyone have any like? What are people's thoughts on AI crochet and that type of thing in general? Because I'm kind of excited for it. Admittedly, I think it gives us something to strive for. It's new. It's exciting, and we can create different things than we've created in the past, and um, you know, to me, that's all very exciting, but I know some people just kind of want, you know, I mean, I do think that there is definitely some pitfalls in it, making it a little unrealistic of what we as crocheters can make. Hey, Zach, never apologize. You're welcome to come and go as you please. You are not trapped here, despite popular belief. So I'm just sewing in my ends now. Luckily, this pattern is very low sew, and you can do it all with a crochet hook. You don't even need a crochet, like a darning needle for it at all, which I appreciate because I like to keep things as simple as possible. And usually, when I'm done with a project, I just don't even want to look at it again. Like, watching TikTok, that's fine. That's fine, Zach. You're allowed to watch TikTok when you want to watch TikTok. That's fine. There's so much cool stuff on there. I can't say that I blame you. This is not the most exciting thing, I have to admit, but when you got orders to get done, you got to get them done. Okay, so the last step is to do the tab. So for this, I create a small slip knot. Put it on my hook. And then I have a clearly defined ridge that I have just from the pattern itself, and this will tell you where it folds down and where to put the tab. Now the tab, I've talked about this before, but the tab is a very important part of this pattern because one, it tells the person wearing it where to fold over, and then also it's where we kind of divide up the stuffing so that it will fold over easily. And I'm just going to do 7 double crochets across the bottom. It also just makes it a lot more comfortable to wear and kind of helps it stay in place a little bit better. I don't know if that really makes a whole lot of sense, but it does when you're wearing it. So I think this is a pretty genius part of the design. Now, I've seen a lot of packers for sale on Etsy and things like that that do not have the tab, and I could see where like those packers may not sit as comfortably, or like they may move around a little bit more. So once you do 7 double crochets, you're going to do 2 chains and you're going to turn your work. And then you're going to double crochet 7 back the other way, and then you're going to tie off and sew in your ends. So really there aren't that many ends to sew in or worry about, which I, again, appreciate because I'm lazy. What colors? Actually, you showed me the other day, didn't you? Isn't your blanket like blue and green? Am I like losing my mind, or is that really? Am I thinking of the right blanket? Gosh, I'm so sweaty. Ugh. So I've had a lot mint and turquoise. Oh, nice, gorgeous. Okay, so snipping that. Then I'm done with this yarn for right now. Keep it out because my next packer uses the exact same yarn. And then, yeah, the colors are really great. Those are really beautiful. And I think it's going to make such an awesome blanket. So let's see. There's a bunch of things that have been happening in my life kind of all around of varying importance. Like I said, I've got 2 patterns that are currently being tested, and I don't know if because I'm like pretty new to the pattern testing or having my pattern tested process, I don't know like what's a reasonable amount of time to give people. Baby blankets are perfect. That's the perfect way to start because they're not too much work, but it's like just enough work where you get like a taste of doing the stitches over and over again, but you don't get like too burnt out, I think. because I cannot make a full-size blanket. I don't have the attention span for that. But yeah, so I have two projects, my awareness ribbon hat and my Grinch that is mooning people. Those are currently in pattern testing phases right now. So I don't know how long to give people to do that, or when to add more testers. Because the thing is, like, the more testers you add, the less people you have to buy it in theory. But so you want to kind of like limit it. Also, like, I guess it's just like reasonable business. Okay, and let me snip these extra ends. And you want to make sure to kind of pull them a little bit tight before you cut them so that once they relax, they'll kind of go back up into your project. Because cotton especially, the plies don't hold together. So this is what it looks like. The packer looks like. This is what the color variation looks like. So that one's done, and that is getting sent out tomorrow/today. I'm gonna sheath my hook for now, and we're gonna switch projects. So yeah. So I've got those two patterns in testing. So I think I have about 3 or 4 people testing on each one. I've already gotten some notes back on the hat, but I don't think I've gotten any notes back on the wrench, which is a little annoying because I want to get that one out like ASAP so that it will sell for the holidays. But okay, so I'm switching over to my kilt. So like I said, for this one, I had to learn a bunch of different skills that were new to me. Oh, come on, you faithful. Yeah. Um, I, it's funny. I don't actively dislike Christmas. I'm not a Grinch. I'm not like a I hate Christmas kind of person. It's not my favorite holiday. Halloween is obviously, but I don't dislike Christmas at all. But Christmas music just like is everywhere all at once, and then it tries to like infringe on other holidays time, and I'm like, you need to back up and know your space, Christmas. Like, come on. And then uh uh but there's one Christmas song that I cannot stand. I don't know why, but Carol of the Bells I cannot stand. I really dislike that song. Um and uh I went to, so every year, for the past several years, well, every year for the past, I think, 25 years, my father-in-law, who is a musical conductor, does tons of musical shows because, like, this is the time of year to do it, right? So he has a singing group called the North Carolina Master Chorale, and they do a show every year called Joy of the Season. Little Drummer Boy, yeah, that's a pretty annoying one too. But they really try to like make it as it's hard because they're combining like a bunch of like more traditional things and traditional songs, and then trying to kind of keep things relevant, changing things year over year to keep people coming back, right? If people know they're going to see the same show every year, it's a lot less likely that they'll come back. So um, last year I sat down with the the pamphlet that you get when you show up, and I saw that Carol of the Bells was on there. I was like, oh my Oh, I try not to complain too much because I know it annoys my wife, like, to no end. But um, but it was actually like I think it was like a Polish version of Carol of the Bells. Actually, was good. God, this yarn is so inconsistent. So I'm using Premier Basics in the color black, and it is like it it's it's not great yarn. I don't know why people like this yarn so much. It's just like some parts are like noticeably thicker than other parts. It's very frustrating. But anywho, I digress. So it actually ended up not being that bad when they did get to the Carol of the Bells, um, the Polish version or whatever it was. But also, her dad conducts with the North Carolina Symphony, and he does the Nutcracker every year, and he's been doing that for like over 20 years. And so he does like it's some like ridiculous number, like 80 shows a year of the Nutcracker, and he's been doing this for so long, and like he's doing it like up till like Christmas Eve. Um, and by the time that he gets to Christmas, he's just like totally exhausted. It's just a really, really like strenuous time of year for him. So this is definitely his busy season, and so we try to go out and support as much as we can, but you can only see the Nutcracker so many times lately. But I mean, it's a big ticket seller. People really enjoy going, and it's definitely like a for some people it's a family tradition to go see the Nutcracker. So, um, I'd only seen it once by the North Carolina Ballet growing up, so it wasn't like totally overdone to me by the time that I got around to Mel. But yeah, he is just like totally inundated for the holidays. So right now I'm working on my kilt. So the kilt starts with a net like this, and I'll just keep on going up. I'll change colors depending on the tartan pattern that I designed, but you can really do any tartan pattern that you desire. Um, it is going to be a pretty big project, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a bigger person, but basically, um, you have to accommodate the number of stitches you'll need to basically fold things over on themselves multiple times, and that will change the size of what you're working on. Um, so I tried to write the pattern where it can be made in any size, and because like it wouldn't make any sense. Hey Darsha, um, it wouldn't make any sense for me to be like use X number of stitches when like that can change so much for people depending on their size. So I tried to write everything in like pretty generic terms, but it's also challenging. So that's what I'm currently writing is that pattern. I didn't when I if you look at the kind of my transition from being heavily invested in like doing other people's patterns to writing my own patterns, I feel like so much more confident in sharing and writing my own patterns now. And I actually have a lot of fun doing it. It's something that I didn't think I would like as much as I do, but I really do like it. It's really fun, it's really creative, really gets the juices flowing, but it does take a lot of time. Uh, Especially for a project like this where I don't really have like a lot of basis to kind of lean on. So, yeah, I think I am a lot more confident now and in my crochet skills. And that's really something I wanted to do this year. You know, I don't think it was necessarily a New Year's resolution. It might have been. I don't remember. But my goal was to just become a better crocheter in general. And I think I have. And I think pattern making has made me a better crocheter because I really have to think about what I'm doing, how to describe what I'm doing. Is there an easier way to do what I want to do? And I just feel a lot more comfortable in that. So thank you for noticing that. I really appreciate that. And it's really fun to write patterns, and you hope that people can um, kind of modify them to make exactly what they want to make. And hopefully that'll be fun for them. So for this pattern, the tartan that I decided to do, um, the pattern is going to be repeating, but it's going to start with 3 rows of black. So I'm working on the second row of black now, and then I'm going to use this slime green that I have. Um, to be my other color. Now, when you make your own tartan um, crochet, you can use obviously any colors that you want, as many colors as you want. It's totally freeing, and like I said, I did a lot of research on kilts, whether or not I wanted a full kilt or a half kilt. I'm going to be doing a half kilt for this project, and then I also looked into different patterns for different clans. Like I am part Scottish, like a little. I guess. Uh, I guess actually not that much. So I was told growing up that I was Scotch Irish on my mom's side, and we had like a family crest, but apparently Scotch Irish means Irish that moved to Scotland, so they're not Scottish, they're Irish. But I've watched this video on this person who was graduating from like a kilt making school in Scotland. And she was like, the great thing about Scotland is like, you don't have to be Scottish to be Scottish, like, and to wear a kilt. Like, it's not exclusive to, you know, people who are Scottish, because the story of kilts and traditional Scottish wear is very turbulent throughout Scotland's history, because people were not always allowed to wear traditional Scottish garb, and therefore some people were still like wearing it in like secret, and like now there's been like a boom in people wearing kilts at weddings for formal wear and things like that. So it's kind of a dying art form that is coming back into the fold, which is great. Um, but a lot of people think that they can get a quality kilt for fairly cheap, when this is like a pretty, like a quality kilt is pretty pricey, but for a good reason, because it's hand sewn, handmade. Those pleats are like strategically like hand placed. Like everything is so detailed. It really is like it's kind of like, I mean, so many cultures have crafts that people really put their heart and soul into, and for Scots, that is definitely uh, apparent in kilt making. So it was really cool. If I ever, I'll try to find the video that I watched about making a kilt. Um, so it was really interesting because I could go to a source of someone who is very educated about not only the history of the kilt, but why certain facets were more important to feature. And uh, so it's really cool. I'm really excited to make my own tartan. I think it's going to take a really long time. A really, really long time. I think that this is going to be a big project, but I'm excited to be undertaking it, and we'll see how it goes. I'm using a 5mm hook. I picked this because, um, so basically, what we're going to be doing is weaving our own fabric. Like, that's basically it. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a chain that's as long as the bottom of the original chain, and you're going to weave it literally through these holes. Like, that's crazy. Um, so, it's going to be a lot of chaining, and it's going to be very time consuming, and I'm going to lose count so many times that I can't even count. um, but there will be a lot of stitch markers in my future. This is going to be a very stitch marker heavy project, I do believe. But it's cool. Not a lot of wearables I feel comfortable making and sizing myself. So the fact that this is um, more about um, there's definitely some math involved on my end, and I hope that the math that I include in my pattern is easy enough to follow for people. Um, but we'll see. I know not everyone is math minded. I used to be much more math minded and lost a lot of that when I became disabled. So it is what it is. I'm going to take a little drink break, a little smoky break. I am dehydrated. Darsha, did you get the yarn yet? I haven't checked the tracking. It said it should be there the 17th, so I'm hoping. Well, that was when I thought I was shipping it out on a Friday, so it might have taken a number of stitch markers because I forget every 10 stitches since seizure started. Yeah, what I'm doing. So I have this box and it constantly goes missing. But so I have this box that has I got off of Amazon. Amazon is the best place to buy stitch markers. Do not buy them in store. They are so expensive in store. So I have these smaller ones and I have them in a bunch of different colors, but these are the two I grabbed. Um uh do you have the tracking number for that? Because if you don't, I can get that for you. Um I thought I put your email in so that you would get tracking. So if you don't have tracking, I can get that for you. So I have these smaller ones in, I'm using orange and blue. And then I've got these bigger ones that I also have in orange and blue. These are from the store. And so what I'm doing is every 20, I'm alternating between like orange for 20, and then for 40, I'm using blue, and for 60, I'm using orange, and then for 80, I'm using blue, and then when I get to 100, I use a big one so that I can kind of keep track of the number of stitches. Use a bunch of dangly earrings. That's so smart. Yeah, I love the ingenuity of the crochet crowd to use alternative items in for stitch markers and for projects, all that. Hey Pixie Stitch, welcome in. I am currently working on my kilt pattern that I pretty much just started. Um, so I'm excited to see how this shakes out. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it's really cool and not a huge waste of time. Are you working on anything? Yeah, I don't know if I can see myself wearing one. Well, I'm just gonna see how this works out. But I don't know. I've just been wanting I've been wanting to try and see, because I know that not only are they historically like a Scottish type of apparel, which I am barely any Scottish, um, but they also are big in the goth and alternative community. So I just kind of wanted to see if I could, you know, make something that I could easily change sizes for and have someone be um and have like make a pattern that could like fit anyone so anyone can do the math. And leather jewelry, that's so cool. Galaxy nail wraps, ooh, look at you, fancy. I don't do anything with my nails anymore. Occasionally I get the urge to paint them black, but I do find that I get misgendered more when I paint my nails, even if it's just black, which a lot of dudes have black nails and non-binary folks have black nails. So I don't know why, but I don't know why that's like the thing. But I'm starting to. This is a really exciting development in my life. I'm starting to get gendered correctly more. It doesn't happen a lot. Like it does not happen a lot. But if people see me from the back, they typically gender me correctly, and then I turn around and they're like, oops, and I'm like, oh, you gendered me correctly. I can't wait to have top surgery. I'm finishing a penguin, the letter B for the name Billy, Christmas angel, snowflake wind chime, and red and fur scrunchies. Whoa, that is awesome. Yeah, my ADHD is telling me work on all the projects at once. I totally understand. I feel like I've got to keep moving or I might die. But like I get bored so easily, so I just gotta keep, maybe I'll have this kilt done by next year, like the end of next year. We'll just see. My pronouns are he and him. Thank you for asking. Um, but so I got my top surgery rescheduled for uh March, and my pre-op is in February. So I don't know if all of you were around when I talked about why my top surgery got canceled. I was supposed to have it this October, and it got canceled a month before when I had like a week before my pre-op, um, because because of a hospitalization that I had in February of this year, and it was so stupid. And um, so I'm with the same doctor right now, but I'm getting a consultation from another doctor, another plastic surgeon, um, in January. That's as soon as they can get me in. And this doctor is apparently so like the scheduler had called me and basically was like, we like basically saying like the staff found out what had happened to me and they were like upset for me and thought that I was um that it was, I don't know if like being mistreated is like the best way to put it, but but they didn't agree with the decisions that my plastic surgeon had made, and how it was done. They thought that it was an oversight on my plastic surgeon's part, and I paid the price for it. So that was really reaffirming. Hey, Lydia, you snuck in there. I didn't even see you until Pixie Stitch said, hey, good to see you as always. So it was really reassuring to have someone be like, you know what they did was pretty fucked up. And let me, um, yeah, I like the there. Um, yeah, so I'm super glad that I have it rescheduled. And the consultation I have with the other top surgeon is like, they said that this surgeon is a lot more understanding of like mental health conditions, and is not so black and white with that. So that made me really happy. And I was like, hey, like, can you just like schedule me with them? Like, I know that might push my top surgery date out, but like, that would be a lot less mentally intimidating if I like knew that I had options and I didn't fuck it up if I need to receive some kind of treatment or something like that. Um, so yeah, so I have that on the books as well. So I'm starting my third row of my double crochet net, and I also am getting my letters of support in order. They only last a year, which makes no sense because literally any other medical document lasts longer than a year unless it's a prescription, which makes sense that a prescription would not last longer than a year, or that it would expire after a year or whatever. But like, it makes no sense how like a letter confirming that this is a surgery for me is no longer valid after 12 months. This is a life-changing surgery. I don't understand. So now they're putting me through the big rigmarole of having to go back to all of my doctors and get letters of support. For those of you who don't know things about gender-affirming surgeries, you are generally required, depending on the surgery, to have 2 letters of support, one from your therapist. And even if you don't have a therapist, you have to go see a therapist to get diagnosed with gender dysphoria, which is technically a medical condition. I think it's totally baloney, um, but I guess that's the only way they can get it paid for by insurance. So hoops to jump through. Maybe that's the year thing because your insurance renews every year. I don't know, whatever. And then you also have to get a letter from the person who is prescribing you hormone medication. Now, the thing is, some people want cosmetic surgery, but they do not want hormone therapy. And so, again, this puts people in a very difficult position. If that was the choice they chose for their body, how are they going to get the surgery if they don't have hormone replacement therapy? I know that they need to consider that, but I just like, I don't know. It's being transgender, like things just get things that normally would be a non-issue become an issue now because um, top surgeon is my top surgeon, and they're like, hey, you're bipolar. We want to make sure that we have sign off from your psychiatrist as well. So not only do I have to prove that I am in fact trans, I also have to prove that my mental health is stable enough to get the surgery. And their justification for it I find very weak, and maybe that's because I'm kind of at the shit end of it, but um, like I think it's actually pretty discriminatory how they've treated me, and it sounds like some other people think that too, but whatever. I've got to play their rule by their rules. But um, like if you chose to have like I guess I understand like the um the gender dysphoria. Okay, you get diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Okay. Um, but let's say I needed like kidney surgery. They would have documentation that I need kidney surgery, and they would just give me kidney surgery. I mean, I know it's not like that, everything's not that simple. I'm not erasing the difficulties of getting other surgeries. I'm not. But for them to be like, jump through every single fucking hoop when most trans people don't necessarily have the resources to go see all these doctors, get all of these letters of support, all this shit. It can be really difficult, and it is really taxing. And because they do expire, and what can happen, like, for example, is like you can be ready to get a surgery, and then one of your letters expires, and they will cancel your surgery, and then you have to go get another letter, and your surgery is pushed back even more. So tell me, how is that good for the patient, who this is considered a life-saving surgery for? I just don't get it. But I could rant and rave all day long about this. I won't, you know, no need to. It's just the system, and I gotta, yeah. Yeah, and for my bipolar, I do see a psychiatrist anyways. I see a therapist anyways. So this is really like the biggest inconvenience, but like they have to cover their own ass when they write the letters. So it is actually like a pretty difficult process. Like sometimes letters take months to get. Um, for me at least, like trying to get my psychiatrist, who as soon as I'm off the phone with, like forgets I even exist basically, like to get her to write a letter is like pulling fucking teeth. Like I I think I had to wait like 3 months to finally get a letter from um her. And yeah, so it's all very inefficient and annoying, but that just is the way it is. I have something on the books. I'm just going to try to look forward to the future and try to like overcome any uh, complications and obstacles as they come. So that's all I think I can do. um, but that is what it is. Um, so I don't have my hysterectomy scheduled yet. I need the letters for that. Again, I think that if someone knows that they want a hysterectomy, I feel like it should be pretty okay to just go get a hysterectomy. But you know, guess not. Because it's not even ever classified as a cosmetic surgery, ever. So I don't know why they have to go through all this, but they need all those letters for hysterectomy as well. And yeah, so trying to get that on the books, and we'll see how that goes. keep on splitting my yarn. This furl silk. It's in black, so I don't have the best view of it, but also I'm moving kind of fast, so that's making a difference. But yeah, so that's on the horizon, which is exciting to finally make some moves. That way, I feel like, um, you know, I think sometimes people reduce trans people, and I'm not saying any of you do this, but like some people reduce trans people to the surgeries that they have had. And that is a anyway qualifier or quantifier of how trans someone is the surgeries that they've had. And I really don't think that that is like realistic or fair at all, because there's so many people who fall under the trans umbrella, um, who never want surgeries, who never want hormone therapy, and that's fine, and they're still trans. They just don't make those choices for their body, and that's fine. Or they make those choices for their body, I should say. So it can be very reductive, for a lot of people, um, and that's why we get things like turfs and stuff like that that treat trans women so terribly poorly, because they're reduced to their genitals. And yeah, didn't I say I would stop talking about this? Sorry, it's really late here. Oh, I couldn't make that laugh any less dramatic. But yeah, so let's see what else is going on right now. So I talked with my lawyer this week. I think some of you know. I don't think all of you know. I talked with my lawyer this week, and we went over the details that we're going to cover in my disability hearing, which is on December 5th. So wish me good luck. After Fortune wasn't time issues because she was only 30. Like, she couldn't decide for herself. Exactly. Like, there's such a policing of women's and AFABs, like assigned female at birth, their bodies, like why and how, like, can you tell someone, like, and I've heard about like gynecologists that like need sign off from like your husband or your partner that you're done having kids and stuff like that before they will do surgeries. Like, it is just absolutely bonkers what is, like, it's all fucking crazy to me. um so Too interesting. I'll try to be a little bit more boring for you. It shouldn't be hard. Let's see. I so my call with my lawyer went really well. He kind of kept on, reiterating, like, he didn't say like, "Hey, we've got this in the bag," because I don't think professionally he could say that, and I wouldn't want him to say that unless it was like 100% chance, which there never is. Um, but uh, he seemed to be pretty confident in my case, and he kept on being like, "You have a really thick file." He's like, "Your file is much bigger than most of the people we see get accepted." So like, that's like good, but it's also like, oh yeah, I'm batshit crazy. So it's kind of put me in this weird mood where I'm like hopeful, but I'm also like, I'm so messed up. And I don't know. It's just kind of like a weird place to be. Like, you know, I would say no one wants to be disabled, and I think that is the truth, but I think that there are people who would want to be on disability, who might not necessarily need to be. A lot of people think that not working would be better than the alternative. Um, but like, it is kind of hard to just to be like, yeah, I am like super disabled. It's been like a big acceptance hurdle for me, um, that I've had to come to terms with because it's just the truth, like the file's big for a reason, and oh my gosh, I keep splitting this yarn. I'm gonna throw it out the window. Okay, I'm cool. I'm cool. Put another dent in the file. Get the Wii U machine, Wii U vehicle. Um, so yeah. Um, and then I'm trying to like start like a life coaching side business, which I'd say isn't going badly. It's just not bearing fruit just yet. Um, and that's okay. Because like it's something that I want to do for my personal growth, but also to help other people. And people will come when they need to. So you can't force anything like that. So I totally understand that. Um, and if I can be a method of support for someone, I would love to be. But I also know that with as much as I have going on right now, it does take a lot of extra spoons, if you will, if you're familiar with spoon theory. If you're not, I think it's a really great way to communicate things about energy levels. It was actually, I believe, developed for the reason for people who have chronic illnesses. And basically, like, you're given a certain number of spoons. It's kind of like energy currency, and they just use spoons because it was like a household, um, you know, item that everyone has, right? So you start the day with 12 spoons, and maybe today just getting out of bed takes up half your energy for the whole day. So you use 6 spoons just getting out of bed. You go to the bathroom, 1 spoon, you get back in bed, 1 spoon. So if you hear people talking about not having spoons, they're talking about energy, and that can be physical energy. It can also mean mental energy, and it's a really effective tool for communicating what you're capable of doing, because some days you've got the energy, some days you can do the things, some days you can't. And even if you're not chronically ill with anything mentally or physically, you still don't have an infinite supply of energy to just do whatever you want. um, Even when you have ADHD or you're manic and you feel like you have um, all that energy, it's not endless. It does run out eventually. Um, so yeah, the spoon analogy is really great. I first learned about it because my wife is a spoonie. She has chronic pain, and it was a really effective communication tool for her to communicate to me how much energy she has. Because I had never, uh, I had never really been around someone with chronic pain. Um, that's not true, but like not with someone who could communicate it in a way that I could understand it. Um, oh yeah, social social things definitely take spoons for sure. Um, Sometimes I think I have spoons and then they're gone, and I'm like, what? It can really surprise you. It's very unpredictable, but it is a great communication tool for partners, for family members, for just anyone, just to say, man, I don't have the spoons today to do that. Hey, I said we could hang out today, and that was a couple days ago, but I'm running on fumes. I don't have the spoons today. Can we reschedule? Things like that are really important to be able to communicate. Because some days that just happens. And it's okay. So we're getting close-ish to the end of the row, which I'm excited because I get to do a color change, and then I can start taking pictures. Because I was like, so sometimes when I make things, I use like different colored yarn than I actually want for my project, so I can get better pictures the for the uh, testing. But with this particular project, I was like, it's a big one. I'm not making it twice. We're just going to get it right on the first go. And so there's not great pictures that you can take of black yarn, unfortunately. But hopefully the bright green will be a nice, good contrast to take some pictures with. Ooh, baking some lemon bars. I love lemon. I love like lemon flavored anything. So lemon bars are among my favorite treats. I'm definitely more of like a citrusy person than like a chocolate person. Yes, I'm designing this myself. Out of nowhere. Um, I just yeah, I'm creating the pattern for the tartan. So basically what I'm doing is I have this huge piece of netting that I'm doing, and then I'm going to weave through the net to make the tartan pattern. And then I'm going to also be doing um, pleats for the back of the kilt. And I'm learning all of this by myself. Also, I'm gonna learn how to do some cabling so that I can do like a little like bright green cable kind of closure to it. That's my thought, but we'll see how I might be fucking done with this. I probably will by the time I get there. And I'm using acrylic yarn if I had any kind of inkling to, you know, keep from making the world's hottest skirt, basically. I would not be using acrylic yarn, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Um, all lemon desserts. Really, yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I really hope so. I was talking earlier, I think it was before you were on, about how I've evolved from being like more of a crochet where I like use other people's patterns to wanting to create my own patterns and just kind of go for it. And I think that's kind of just the era that I'm in right now, is just kind of doing my own thing. And instead of being like, oh, there's not a pattern for this, I guess I can't make it, I'm just like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I think it's really made me a better crocheter because I have to really think about things before I do them. I can't just follow a pattern, which there's no shame in just following a pattern, but it's been really exciting to become a better pattern writer. I currently have two patterns that are being pattern tested. One is a crochet awareness ribbon hat. I don't think I have one of my hats near me. No, no. But so I I have a crochet hat tutorial, not tutorial, pattern in the works, and then I also have a primarily knitting machine pattern in the works for my Grinch that is um, mooning people. And so we'll see what people think. And more into the design aspect too. Cool. What are you working on if you want to share? I also have some like secret projects that like of things. There's one doll that I'm making that I haven't touched in months, but I want to pick it back up because I think it's such a good idea, but I don't want to tell anyone because I'm so excited about it that I feel like someone who's a better crocheter than me is gonna steal my idea right underneath my nose, and so I'm being very secretive about it. It's probably stupid, but who knows, maybe. It would be warm through the holes. I think with just how much blanket there would be, and this is acrylic, still think it would be pretty warm, but I'm basically gonna weave my own tartan fabric. And it's gonna go through the holes, so it's gonna fill up the holes, hopefully. I watched a video on how to like crochet your own tartan fabric, and I don't want to be a hater, but it had to be the most like loosely structured, like gives you no real info, just like kind of conceptually throws it at you and then leaves you at it with it. So I was like, okay, I'm no closer to knowing how to do this. Um, but I'm sure it was very well intentioned. Designing your jewelry, and I'm working on Centro plus crochet sweater idea. Very nice. Very nice. I was like ready to toss in the towel with my knitting machine, and then I'm doing a challenge on, depending on what channel you're watching this on. So I'm streaming on both my channels. Both Ian is a weirdo and Ian is weird. I know that they're almost identical in name, but I wanted that for a reason. Um, on the Ian is weird side, I am doing a challenge where I have two. This is my Grinch mooning people. I made like a change in the pattern that would hopefully reduce like full cinch, but I'm pretty excited about it, and I love this little face. So I have two bowls, two cauldrons. I could not tell you what the other cauldron is right now. I'm so messy. It's getting outrageous, everyone. It's getting outrageous. So, two cauldrons. One is Halloween. This is a Halloween cauldron, and I have a bunch of ideas in there. And then I have a Christmas holiday one, and I pick an idea from each of those, and and then I try to combine the ideas to make one spooky holiday type idea. So that one was for full moon and Grinch. No, full moon and red and green. That's all I had to go off of. So that's what I made. So I'm kind of getting back into the knitting machine a little bit, but I really don't understand how they work. One for your fiance, that's awesome. Yeah, this is the easy part. It's going to be chaining about 1,000,000 chains. That's going to be the difficult part. So we'll just kind of roll with the punches there. Like, there's got to be an easier way to do it than what I'm thinking of doing it, but I can't think of any easier way. Has that green yarn. I wish that my Walmart has that green yarn. They out of the stock. Okay, yeah. You try to read things too fast, and your brain's like, no, no, we're not doing that. Oops, forgot my chain one. What did I do with this stick? That's weird. So my attention just dropped off the face of the earth. Yeah, so if you want to like my other channel and subscribe to that, you're welcome to. I'm trying to. I created the other channel because I've had this core channel for a while, and I stopped uploading videos for like 8 months or something like that. And then since I've come back, it like hasn't really like I've had a really hard time growing in subscribers. And I've been like this close to 1,000 for like a year now. And I'm like, I'm never gonna get there with this channel. Like I fell off YouTube's algorithm no matter how much I try to get back on. If I do like 1,000 giveaways, like nothing's gonna move the needle that much. So I just was like, let me just start over from scratch, and I can do things that are a little bit more, that are a little different, but also just kind of, you know, have a channel that can at least have a chance at growing. Um, so thank you, I appreciate that. Let me see. I need to change my notes for the last one. DC into chain of chain 5. Change color on that. Boop, boop, boop. Make some headbands. Yeah, yeah. I love the fold over headbands that people make, with the knitting machines, or just with regular crochet or knitting or whatever. They're so cool. Trying to get 500 members. Yeah, we got to get you up there, Lydia. I tried to do a Patreon. That was a pretty big bust. Um, yeah, and I'm trying to like sell some of my crochet work, but so there's this it's called the Scrap Exchange, and it's basically just like it's amazing. It's kind of like a junkyard, but like half of it's like craft materials and half of it's just like random shit. Like, they have like big, huge barrels of just like empty prescription bottles, and you can fill up a huge bag for $1 and make art with it. Like, it's just so cool. It's the coolest place ever. I buy a lot of yarn there. It's not always like, some of it comes from estate sales, some people donate, stuff like that. Um, but I love it there. It's like my little personal mecca. And they started an artist marketplace. And yes, you both will get there. Pixie, I need to follow you. Go ahead and do that right now while I'm thinking about it, because I forget a lot of things. Like, you would be surprised. Okay, spelled Pixie Stitch wrong. Sorry about that. Subscribe. You're in Arkansas. Very cool. Get notifications. Ring that bell. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. That mosaic crochet that you have for your picture, freaking gorgeous. That is so, the colors are so perfect for like a southwestern like motif. Like, it's, well, it's gorgeous. Great work. Snaps to you. Mosaic is something that I want to get more into. I have a couple patterns. Alaska, is that what AK is? Oh, it's Arkansas. Oh wait, Arkansas is AR, right? AK is Alaska. Okay. Um okay, I need to get my other green. Just don't look at my boxers. I mean, it's not that they're like, anything gross. Just in the boxers. So this is the slime green that I have. It's literally called slime. There you go. You can kind of see it better there. So can I get the fucking color right? It's fucking slime green. But yeah, I have a few patterns from Sixel Designs, and they do just amazing mosaics that are like nice and gothy and cool. And so I started doing a pillow that was like eyes, and then I think I bought like the Halloween kit, that bundle that she had, and then also she did like a coffin one, and with that came a pattern to do a back, like a drawstring backpack, which is so cute. Oh my gosh. So I bought that too. One day I'll get around to them, but um yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead. How do I want to do this? Trying to figure out if I want to snip my black, because I have to do 3 rows of green, and I don't want to have to. Because I'm gonna just be trying to avoid sewing in ends for as long as possible, because this has the potential to create a million ends. Not a million, but a lot. So yeah. How are we gonna do that? I don't know. I'm just gonna cut it and figure it out later. I want that green yarn. I want to make Grinch. Yeah, I really had fun making the Grinch. I used, I think it's spring green. Yes, Sixel Designs, spelled exactly like that. So she's on Etsy, Facebook. I think she has her own website. Um, Lots of gothy, cool stuff. Let me find her on Facebook. Um, if you have Facebook. If you don't, then you can find her on. Actually, I'll give you her website, because I imagine she gets the most sales off of that. Copy link address. Like, her stuff is so cool. Oh my gosh, that's so long. Why? No, that's not what I wanted. No, it looked so short. It's literally Sixel Design. Is it design or designs? Design. Yeah, just ignore that former whatever. I don't know what I even had pasted. Um, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll turn our work. Oh my gosh, I just feel like I can't stay hydrated. I know the vaping isn't helping, but helps me not be a bitch. So. I have like a little bit of body armor left. We're just struggling to function today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn. Oh my gosh, this color's so pretty. Oh, this is like my favorite color, green. That's a lie. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite color, green. I just love all greens so much. I love olive green. I love Kelly green. I love slime green. Give me all the greens. At first, I was thinking of doing 3 colors and having like it be black, orange, and green, but I just didn't really vibe with the way that things were going. So, so I just decided to bring it down to 2 colors and thought that that would be easier to kind of show the pattern with, and then people could run with it. The green goes with your hair. My hair is actually like faded highlighter yellow, but green is next for me. Um, I'm thinking of doing like a split dye, but doing it in like a weird way. Because my hair is curly, I know you can't really tell because it's pretty short right now. Um, but I'm thinking of like doing a part like kind of like diagonal on my head. I haven't seen anyone do this. I don't know if it's like good luck or not, but doing like a diagonal part and then doing like maybe the front yellow and the back green and the front green and the back. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm thinking about doing that. I don't know what I'll do around here. I need to shave a lot of this, get this a lot shorter because I don't like when it gets really fluffy on the sides. But yeah, this green is awfully. Look at how good they look. This green, I'm trying to like find where you can actually see the color. Almost there. Maybe if I turn this over. Wait. Oh. See, you can see how bright green that is. What fell? Okay, to dye mine bright to royal blue. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I have some blue too that I could throw in there. I never really like think about having blue hair. I feel like some people just have blue hair vibes, and I don't think I have blue hair vibes. I've been literally every color, um, but yeah, I did do a teal that I had for a long time, and that was really nice. That was really nice. I don't usually do like royal blue. That's perfect. The black and the green. Yeah, I'm so excited. Ooh, it reminds me of my cauldron that I made. So I never finished this project, but I made a cauldron, and I was seeing all these people do like coaster cauldrons or coaster like flower baskets where they they put a lot of the coasters in the little basket, and then you pull them out, and they were individual coasters. So I just used this green, um, I think it's called lime, from Sugar and Cream, or what's the other one? I lost the tape, so I don't really know. But and then I put like bobbles around the edge, so it um, would look like bubbling cauldrons. I was gonna make more coasters, but then I got sidetracked. It happens. I don't love the cauldron, but I just was going off of like an amigurumi pattern because someone was selling the pattern for $3, and I was like, well, I could make the cauldron, and then I could just make the coasters however I want. I don't really need to buy a pattern. That's what becoming a designer is like. It's like, do I need to buy a pattern? I'll just make one up myself. And I have a lot more confidence in doing that now. So both of these, well, just kidding, because the black is Premier Basics. The green is Slime in Big Twist Value. Yeah, usually I go really big for Halloween, but I didn't this year because the whole canceling of my top surgery really put a damper on my mood. And I'm a Halloween baby. Like my birthday is October 23rd, and I love Halloween. I love everything about it. I love spooky shit. So just the perfect time of year, but I just feel like I didn't get to celebrate it this year because I was just kind of down in the dumps. Also, I was in treatment in the beginning of October. So I I uh, just wasn't in the mood. So as soon as like we got past Halloween and I got to celebrate it a little bit, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna. That's what kind of started the blank but make it Halloween challenge that's on my other channel. Is that I just wanted to incorporate Halloween and give it the time it deserved. Like it deserves better from me. So shit, did I skip my? Yeah. I'm a Halloween all year round kind of person. Exactly. Well, you are in the right place. We celebrate Halloween all year round. Okay. Oh, this looks so good. Oh my gosh. Just bury me in these colors, please. Oh, I love these colors together. I also really like orange and black together. So it was really a toss up whether or not I was going to go with the slime green or the orange. Um, because I really like the bright orange from Big Twist. Because it's a nice, like, yellowy orange. It's really, like, a nice highlighter orange. Because sometimes bright orange can lean on the side of, like, a little too red. Which is, I mean, it's fine, but it's just not the color that I'm looking for. But that color is, like, the bright orange is, like, perfect. Um, so, uh, but I have 3 skeins of this, so it's like, might as well. Just like the less I can go out, the better. Because also I tend to spend a lot of money when I go out that I don't have. So, oops. Oh shit, we're barreling down the tracks of time, close to the 2 hour mark. So I think I'll finish this row and then we'll call it an evening. So thank you for hanging out with me while I made this packer. I'm going to be making another one very soon. Um, and although it doesn't have to go out to the end of the month, I think I do want to get it out kind of early so that if there's so I can do some Etsy, make sure my Etsy posts are ready to go for like whatever. I might do a sale on, yeah, I love neons and black together too. It's so fun. Yeah, when I try to think about what kind of goth I am, I'm like, am I like a neon goth? I don't know. I just like neon colors and I like black. I like when they pop against the black. I wish this was UV reactive, but honestly, I really don't. I don't know. I don't trust. If anyone has seen, what was that show on MTV, Room Raiders? I don't trust a black light. I don't trust a black light. I don't know if I want black light reactive clothes because I don't want anybody getting near me with a black light. I don't know what's going to show up. I know that's gross, but I'm gross. I'm sorry. But yeah, once I finish this row, then we'll call it a night. I always love having you here, Lydia. Thank you for coming in. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, but I hope things continue to get a little bit better for you. The big twist is so soft. It's crazy how the big twist is the cheapest out of all of my value yarn, probably with the exception of Red Heart Super Saver, which kind of oscillates around it. But the big twist is my most reliable. It's a little piecey, but it's so cheap that I can deal. The Premier Basics is the most expensive, especially with shipping, and it's the lowest quality to me. Oops, went in the wrong. Wait, did I go? No, I didn't, but it looks weird. Oh, I didn't put a chain. We're just gonna pretend like you put a chain there. But goth is definitely a big part of it. Yeah, exactly. It's who really cares, you know? If you're a goth, I think people like to label things just to make things make more sense in their head. But just wear what you like, be what you like. That's all that matters. Is you just have a good time with it and express yourself how you want to. Like I'm wearing literally like a Huxtable sweater, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a goth. But you know, I also love grunge and alt and all kinds of things. So just be what you want to be. That's all that matters. I feel like I should have a rainbow that's the 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 more rainbow. But just be who you want to be. Who needs labels anyways? Yeah, labels are for clothes, not for people. Yeah. But when you check out Six Soul Designs, let me know and let me know what you think and let me know what you're obsessed with because I know you're gonna be obsessed with if you're a spooky person, if you're a Halloween person, their stuff is right up your alley. Yeah, so I didn't get to watch the live that you did. So did I know I put some suggestions in the first video that you posted about your new channel name. Um, I mean, if you can take what I said or you can not. But I know I didn't think about it until after I stopped having it because my YouTube channel used to be called Pivy Does It All. And I didn't realize how that could come off in like a way that I didn't necessarily want it to come off. But I did that because I didn't simply crochet or knit. I did a lot of crafts. So maybe steer away from, does it all. I mean, you can take it if you really want to, but yeah, there is a connotation to that. Um, didn't think about that. But I think no matter what you change your name to, it will be great. I think making sure that you keep Lydia in it is important. Um, for me, I found when I changed my name from Pivy Does It All to Ian is a Weirdo, um, it I had to like reintroduce myself to everyone because people were like, "Who the hell is this?" So that's the only thing is if you like keep your name in it. If you're gonna change it, but do what you want. Okay, I'm not gonna bother finishing this row right now. I'm over it. I just decided that I'm over it. I looked at how much I had left and I was like, nah, pass. Yeah, this is basically I'm basically the size of like a queen size mattress because it has to wrap around you like at least 2.5 times, so it's pretty large and in charge. But it is what it is. Okay, well, I love you all very much. Diamond art, that's so fun. I have no patience for that. I did one and I was with someone else and I was like, never again. It was cool while it lasted, but I'm out. So I love you all. Thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you later. Bye.